Tristana, and more than likely this Hecarim over towards top esports. So strong pair of picks going the way of top right now.
Yeah, Tristana in there. You could go for your support as well, but you can wait with that pick. Don't necessarily need to lock in a support, as you say. You can go for jungle like the Hecarim. Then over to the side of RNG, you'd expect them to kind of match that jungle lock-in and maybe go for an AD carry themselves before the priority AD carries are banned away.
Okay, so it looks like we're actually going to get the Udyr coming through, so Hecarim completely taken off the board, and Wei is hovering on this Lillia. Wei, for me, is actually the best Lillia that we have in the league right now. He's been absolutely insane. Like, every single time he'll find 4 to 5 man sleeps in every series that he's managed to pick this up. He'll have great early game control as well, as pathing is so incredibly smart on this pick as well. So I'm super excited now to see once again the Lillia going into hands of Wei. We got Gala onto Kaisa, a crazy strong pick in that bottom side as well. And it feels like RNG at least have gotten a lot of what they're interested in the start of this draft.
And Leona locked in for Zhuo again. This is the aggression we like to see in that bottom side. Which, again, the Leona not really been one of the solid meta picks in that bottom lane. Recently, she seems to have fallen out of favor, but I prefer it to the Nautilus we saw in game 1, much tankier. Now to the bans, though. Again, top esports, they're like, Xiaohu, you do not get to play Gnar ever again. Not allowing that one through.
No, nobody wants to get Gnar. They let this Gnar through, and I think especially for top esports, they're just like, right, if we can try and make sure that we're taking this top pick in our last rotation here, we can just lock in something easy for Knight in the mid lane, you know, the likes of the Syndra, something along these lines, where he's just like, cool, we're just going to have a non-factor in this mid lane, or no real fighting in this mid lane, and allow top esports to focus more towards this top side of the map and towards the kill lane that they drafted in the bottom side. Like, although we do look at like the Kaisa and REll is a very strong pick, you can struggle certainly against the all-in potential that comes from the Leona and the Tristana.
Definitely can be a difficult lane to match up against, but as we look to these bans, Cryin gets his Azir removed from the situation. So with Orianna, Azir, Zoe all banned away in the mid lane, things like Syndra, even though across the league doesn't have the greatest win rate, actually become much more reasonable picks because the things that have been higher priorities are removed, but it's going to be the Ryze coming through from Knight instead.
And this has been one of Knight's fallbacks. He has looked really good on us. He's been very creative with the ultimates as well. And it looks like potentially Cryin is just going to go, right, I mean, if you're just going to have this kind of more split push orientated mid laner, something that's looking to use these realm warps to find advantages, I'm just going to follow you with the Destiny here and try and see if I can have a bigger impact towards this top and bottom side of the map.
Twisted Fate, the Jayce on the other side of the board this time. It's going to be RNG Xiaohu with the Jayce lock-in, but the counter pick available for 369. What is the call here? How do you shut down the RNG top laner that is taking over the league? I'm not gonna lie, last time we saw that battle fight, it didn't look good for 369.
I don't know. I mean, I aren't the biggest fan of Knight on these, sorry, not Knight, 369 on these tanks. He hasn't looked the best now. Yes, the Sion is going to work very well against this Jayce in the later stages, where he kind of just farms it up, becomes an absolute beefcake, and can be reasonably difficult for the Jayce to take down. But you've got a really good tank shredder coming into the Kaisa, who can go towards the Kraken Slayer. You've also got delivery systems with the Twisted Fate to bypass that front line, and Sion is definitely not a tank that does well when the fight is spread out all over the place. He likes people to be that way, so we can literally just charge at them and call them cowards.
That's true. Or charge away and call them cowards, which is always my favorite
works both
direction.
Yeah.
We could see a lot of that with Cryin on this Twisted Fate. You expect him to try and get out of that mid lane and influence the side lanes, but we can see Knight doing a very similar thing on the Ryze. A lot of potential to go for the kind of 1-3-1 style here on either side of the board. And I have to say, it feels like top esports are going, okay, let's slow this down a little bit. Got a lot of scaling on this composition this time. Instead of being the ones that have to really accelerate the pace of the game, it feels like they're saying, look, we're heading onto the Rift for game number 2 of our match of the week. It's RNG versus top esports. You can hear the crowd is out in force. The JackeyLove signs galore. of a lot of fans that may be heartbroken after a game number 1 performance like that from Top Esports. But just remember, this is the first place team in the league in RNG up against Top Esports. This is the legacy organization of RNG up against the recent champions of Top Esports, current defending LPL champions.
And this is a battle and a half. We saw how close this was for so long in game number 1 until RNG were able to just swing it in their favor and run away with this game. Now it feels like the reverse needs to happen, where Top Esports need to try and hold out, wait for their own champions to come online, see if they can battle against the map control that RNG have with this, but this is already looking dodgy.
All right, shenanigans are here. Zhuo flashes in the level 1 fight. 369 Trump flashes out to safety, keeps himself alive. Top Esports holding on here. The slam down, 32 gold with a Q damage right there. 369 gets all of the chickens.
It will mean, though, that chances are 369 has to burn his TP to get back towards his top lane, because Xiaohu can shove that in pretty quick. There you go, the TP. So Wei potentially could make his way up towards this top side with no flash, no TP on 369, and try and set this Sion behind early.
Yeah, and he's already down to half health again. Rough start to the lane for 369, but let's take stock of summoners that we use in that level 1 engage. You got the Ignite from Ming. You got both summoners from Wei on cooldown here. 369 using both, and also the summoners coming out from Zhuo. So across the board, actually an advantage for RNG when it comes to that as well. Xiaohu continues to bully in the top lane. It's a great start for RNG.
Yeah, and it's a really smart path here from Wei, because the only way that you can actually capitalize on the summoners that are burnt on this Lillia is to play through the advantages Top Esports have on the bottom side. So by Wei going from Raptors into the bot side clear back into his top side, he's going back towards the safety of having Xiaohu there, and it means that Karsa won't actually be able to punish these summoner spells being down as easily. So again, you can see RNG's Wei making really smart decisions when it comes towards the path and he wants to take in this game.
And that's exactly what we've been praising him for this split, right? Is that he's one of the most intelligent junglers in the league. Karsa wants to find him, though. The Sprayer's Orb will spot him out. He is real low on HP. Needs to be cautious. Karsa knows he can't close that gap, but we'll be able to get this bot side scuttle crab. So, a small advantage found by the Top Esports jungler.
It is small, but you can see there, that's exactly why, even though he was on the top side of the map, went towards this bottom side. And now, though, you can see Knight moving up towards his top lane. They want to make sure they can secure this double scuttle and try and make sure that Wei's at least losing something for these early game shenanigans.
Yeah, Karsa able to move up. They'll be able to clear the shield. Knight helps him DPS the Scuttle Crab, and Karsa gets the double scuttle. So jungle advantage very heavily in favor of Top Esports off the back of the level 1 play that we saw. You can see Zhuo as well, moving up just in case there's a scuffle over that crab. So great heads-up play from the rookie support.
Yeah, it does mean, though, that he's going to be a little bit behind in levels when it comes to the bottom lane. You can see Gala and Ming are about to hit that level 3, whereas Zhuo will have lost a little bit there. So the advantage, yes, could have gone towards mid lane, and I like that he's trying to cover, but it does mean that at least in a straight up 2v2, Gala and Ming get a little bit of control back in that bottom side.
A little bit for themselves. I'm not going to lie, Dagda, looking into this game, I'm looking at JackeyLove, who's engaged upon Ignite.
Yeah, you are.
He's in trouble right now. 1 or 2 more autos from Gala would do the trick. He can't quite flash forwards, doesn't have the damage to finish JackeyLove off. I was going to say, we need to see a better performance from JackeyLove, and immediately falls down in the 2v2. RNG pushing the lead in the top lane as well. Q comes down, can't quite finish the kill though. Xiaohu in trouble, flashes over the dot, ticking away from the red buff. Phoenix stands, can't quite get the damage through. Xiaohu survives, and now Wei walks away. No knockup coming through. Top Esports can't find anything.
God, that is heartbreaking for Top Esports. I thought that was a guaranteed kill with Xiaohu way overextending underneath the tower, even separating from Wei, but by some miracle, he manages to step away with that. Just burnt, battered, bruised, but safe nonetheless.
They've been blessed by the RNG. I think that's the only explanation for these kinds of shenanigans that are happening before our eyes right here. Bit of a heartbreak on the play from Top Esports, but they do have a minor gold lead for themselves, and that's due to this huge CS lead. Then Knight is able to build himself in the mid lane on this Ryze. With that recall, he's got himself some Merc treads as well, so much more difficult for Cryin to set up picks onto that Ryze.
Look, I don't need you slagging my accent as well. The LPL already burnt me today by putting subtitles on my video. So now, no, top esports in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Gala is going to be... I don't know, I can't think of a joke about subtitles. Doesn't matter, he goes down, that's the key point. That's first blood for top esports. JackeyLove getting himself onto the board. Finally, the duo for top esports finally.
And this is what I wanted to see from top esports, because we were talking about how we needed to get this bot lane rolling. We wanted them to start getting these early dragons as well. Well, they've done just that now. Killed going towards JackeyLove, karsa now getting this dragon, and still trying to stick away on the back foot for those early shenanigans. But with 6 minutes having been hit, you've now got the Twisted Fate up and rolling, and now it's about getting this vision control up towards this top side. Trying to see if they can get all the back of red warded up, if they can get control of this river, and unlock multiple different paths and routes for Cryin to try and impact in this top side.
You see way towards the top side of the map right now. We'll get the skull crab. I don't think it dives through, but you can see Karsa just runs through the darkness in the jungle. He's there before the rest of the squad. It's an easy pick.
Yeah, they thought that they'd have a little bit more time with Zhuo not being there, but you can see Karsa is able to just run him down, no problem. JackeyLove can cover that distance so handily, and just unfortunate timing for Gala. That wave was in an awful position where it could have just been frozen for all the livelong day by JackeyLove, so he really needed to crash that, but didn't quite have the assistance there. Now, Realm Warp time, as Knight and Karsa are looking to make the plays happen.
This positioning, they're not going to find the chance just yet. Having to move back towards the mid lane. Trying to defend a little bit of vision as well. So important to mention, Drake did go down to top esports about a minute ago as well. So 369 just charges up towards the top lane to grab that wave. No TP on Xiaohu, so he should be able to crash a wave himself. This is one of the advantages of having that Sion, right? Yes, you can TP to waves, but beyond 6, you can also just ult back into the lane. So you essentially have double TP when it comes to controlling the wave.
Yeah, there's even like old school Sions who used to try and just literally as they hit 6, recall, ult down towards bot lane, almost like a Twisted Fate ult, and see if they could disrupt the bot side of the map. But it doesn't matter. Like, as you said, this is just such a useful tool, has several different uses. This time, will manage to get 369 back up top side, and especially as we talked about with 369 having burnt that TP early, it's not the end of the world to use the ult to get to top lane. Probably not going to use it anytime soon, and it does give him another option there.
Say that nearly gets caught out, does have to flash away. So had his ult been available, maybe he could have just zipped away without the flash. One thing to remember as well is Sion's ult actually super useful against Twisted Fate. He can't get the stun with the gold card if you're ulting. You are unstoppable, so it's a fantastic escape tool to be used if you don't use it to just get the CS. But it is what it is. Flash going to be used. Karsa now gets to start off a Rift Herald.
Yeah, and this is just because you didn't get that early play. Now, Xiaohu with the big wave coming in towards... Actually, I was going to say big wave. It's 2 minions, he's
yeah,
fine. But basically,
wave.
it's...
Massive wave.
What Karsa's trying to do is punish the fact that Cryin now has no ultimate, but the sleep is still pretty effective.
Get the sleep onto Karsa, but he REll warps his sleeping ally to safety. Knight! Oh my god, I've never seen such genius gameplay. I thought the CC stopped it. I thought he couldn't warp if you were CC.
It's only if the Ryze gets CC'd as far as I know, but there's the big engage. Ming trying to get on towards Jackie.
JackeyLove jumps over. Zhuo goes back in under the tower. Chill out, mate. It's only a 2v2. You don't have to get personal.
This is the battle for first, Munch. There is no chill. We got no chill zone around here. You need to go in. You need to go in hard. And Zhuo, though, doesn't really pay for it. So maybe he does need to take a step back. Either way, looks for it again, but still not quite able to get so. But the thing is, you can see they're consistently trying to go on towards Ming. Ming is fine. He's still tanky. He can look for the re-engage, whereas Gala still has that cleanse. So honestly, it's going to be pretty hard to try and turn that in your favor easily. And I think for the moment, Munch, we're going to take a step back now. There's no ult on towards Cryin. He's not going to be able to influence these side lanes. 369 is still trying to farm up. Karsa's been doing a really good job of keeping Wei in check. Although he looks like Karsa's going for Xiaohu with Wei on that.
Oh, Xiaohu has flash available, but you don't get to move when you're against a Sion. And the Udyr. Nothing he can do. Wei now has to forego the Rift Herald as well, because that top lane prio doesn't exist when you don't have a top laner. Drake up in 50 seconds. I'd say I'm thinking maybe Top Esports could start to stack these.
And I was really hoping that Xiaohu would have walked away, gone over towards that Rift Herald when I saw Wei on it, but unfortunately tries to get a little bit more chip damage, greeds a little bit for the plates, and unfortunately means the Top Esports will be able to turn that play around, get the Rift Herald for themselves. And with JackeyLove and Zhuo again being incredibly dominant in this bot lane, plates going their way, CS advantage for themselves, now Top have got the win on both sides of the map.
Really beautiful from Top Esports, and a much, much cleaner early game from them, saying, look, we're just going to play it slower. We're going to win our lanes gradually. We don't need to be fighting for the kills in the early game. RNG beat us at that game in the first of this series. So playing it a lot slower, playing for scaling, and it's looking fantastic. 20 CS lead in the mid lane, just about even up top. A lead in the jungle, a lead in the bot lane. It's looking real pretty for Top Esports fans right now, and intrinsically for EDG fans as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, you've got to be thinking EDG fans are looking down at this game going, come on, Top Esports, bring it back for us. And right now, as you said, looking okay, but RNG are still not, are not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. Like, when you look towards the ability for them to play in side lanes as this game goes forward, with Xiaohu taking over one role, Cryin being off in the other, and the ability for Destiny to just outrange the Realm Warp the Knight will have offered, I still think RNG, if they're able to find one window to, or a little bit of a tempo advantage to set up that 1-3-1, they could be in a really good spot.
So, Top Esports now trying to start this one off. TPs, Realm Warps, all kinds of ultis coming in. JackeyLove forced away, already flashed, and he's collapsed upon, taken down by Gala. Top Esports, can they salvage this fight? Doesn't look like it right now, because RNG already get themselves 2 kills, and they're looking for more as well. Wei swinging around in the middle of the fight, finishing these kills off. 369 will fall to the hammer of Xiaohu, and RNG on top once more.
And there's the one moment that we just mentioned. RNG find that opportunity to jump in onto Top Esports, and it's this magnet sleep combo that is coming in from the Lillia and this REll that is setting it up so consistently. This is a combo RNG run all the damn time, and it's still paying dividends for them.
It's beautiful to see, and now even gold, even dragons, all of that work that Top Esports did towards the start of the game to get themselves on the map has been undone by RNG. A beautiful fight for them.
Yeah, and imagine being JackeyLove and thinking you get to play the game. Because you see, look here, Ming flashes in on top of you, gets that initial jump out of you and your flash, and you've got the ultimate coming in from Wei as well to keep you in check as he flashes forward, plus the TP to boot. Like, you just don't get to do anything. However, we're back into this. Rift Herald plunk boss, and Ming's fishing.
Oh, JackeyLove, you're in trouble, my friend. He's going to be going down, although just managed to jump away, cleanses, gets the buster shot, the solar flare. JackeyLove gets out with his life. I cannot believe my eyes. That was beautiful.
So well played. Just about buffering that rocket jump and having that cleanse with Zhuo, the clutch 2-man stun sets that up. So now you get that bot terror thanks to Rift Herald. You're losing a whole heap of gold in the mid as Knight was able to push that in. Plus, look at the top side. 369's winning up there as well. So that little play from JackeyLove nets so much for top.
Beautiful. That's a TP wasted now from the side of RNG. And this is a play that we see quite often in the LPL when Twisted Fates, they'll use the Destiny to get into the first play and then use the teleport to essentially repeat the play. Read beautifully by Top Esports, or not necessarily read, but outplayed beautifully by Top Esports.
And now, again, this is where we're talking about, look, RNG have the opportunity to try and play through side lanes if they want, but it comes a little bit more difficult when Top are the ones that are controlling the tempo. They've got these resets coming in now, they've got the turrets in their favor. JackeyLove can shove in this bot side group mid and kind of wreak havoc, honestly, for RNG come this mid game. And when we look at like straight up front to back fights, Top Esports are going to be so damn strong. So RNG really need to be in some semblance of control of this map so they can find creative flanks for Cryin, for Ming, for Xiaohu as well to get the damage onto the key members.
In comes Knight. Wei is here as well, and Knight has been baited by himself. Hadazonya's though to keep himself alive. 369 with the double knockup. Here comes Karsa and Top Esports. It's just too beautiful. The outplays galore across the map. Now the answer from RNG as they want to make the play. Gravity Storm comes in, and Gala's on the play as well. They've got a tower to work with as Karsa tries to run out. The 369, he's in zombie mode, and he's hammering away onto Gala. Knight now looking for Ming. In comes Zhuo to tank the tower, but he's trying to get onto Knight himself. Doesn't have the damage to do anything. Knight with the double of the 3, 1, and 2, and Top Esports come out on top.
And you called it, Mudge. You said at the start, it's going to be the mind read of the mind read of the mind read. What did we just get? Where you think, okay, Wei has read Karsa. They know that they're going, or Knight even, they know they're going for this play in the top lane. But Karsa reads the read, and Karsa gets the top side. And then Gala and Ming read the read of Karsa, so they go top side. But then Zhuo's there, and it's like, oh my god, this game is so back and forth. But this is the key thing. Knight managing to set up these kills here, Karsa getting more, and the over-investment coming in again from RNG towards this top side means that, look mid, while this play is happening, you've got Tristana picking up more gold. You're having more gold being funneled into your plays on the top side as well here with Knight dealing so much damage here, and RNG again on the back foot once more.
And then Ming obviously can't turn that one around while he's alone. And now, 3,000 gold lead for Top Esports. I feel like the gold has been swinging very dramatically across the course of Game 2 here. Now Top Esports can look towards a Herald. I think we are at the point where RNG can't afford to just go straight up into a 5v5. Knight is monstrous at this point in the game. You've got 2 turbo chem tanks. You've got the Kraken Slayer there for JackeyLove as well. Feels a lot more difficult for RNG to be able to bully their way in.
Especially when you've got the amount of CC that Knight has, both in his kit and Everfrost. He just finished that Zhonya's as well, so he's pretty free to go really aggressive in these fights to try and lock down either Xiaohu or Gala and set up the rest of the team for success in the follow-up. So certainly you've got like a crazy strong CC coming through from Zhuo, Knight, Karsa, and 369 now, to enable this mega strong JackeyLove who's just completed the Kraken Slayer, is working up towards that Phantom Dancer, and he is still going to be monstrous when he gets towards that threat.
And just look across the board at the CS numbers, right? We've got an even top lane where 369 is even minorly ahead in a losing matchup. He's got a wave crashing at the same time. He's going to be fine. Look at the mid lane CS. It's 40 in favor of Knight. We criticized Knight in the last game. If you think back to that Orianna performance, really lackluster, was not good enough in this kind of series, but now on the rise, feels like this is his emergency pick, and it is looking good.
God, this is so much better from Top Esports. Like, you're sitting here at 3,000 gold, right? Honestly, team fighting looking strong for them. Map is looking strong for them. I mean, look at the vision that they have in this bottom side jungle. And this is obviously, they've just picked up the dragon, but they can continue to use this to make sure that they can then funnel resources in towards the bottom lane, like choke out Cryin from being able to play the map. They can rotate members to stop Xiaohu from being able to push in this top side, especially when you got Knight on with the realm warp opportunities to bring allies alongside it. It becomes really difficult for RNG to play that out that map state. And then you just wait for these dragons to come up. The Infernal Soul point is on the way. You got another 5 minutes until the actual Infernal, and you just win these straight up 5v5 front-to-back fights. So RNG need to start getting creative in looking for picks and how they address these fights, or else Top Esports can just choke them out from this point.
So I get where you're going with that one, Dagda, and I agree that that would be the correct way to play this game. But I've cast Top Esports before, and Baron is going up in 20 seconds. I don't think that they're going to play this slow play around the Drakes. I think they're going to try and brute force the play. I think they might offer RNG a window back into this game.
I know you're probably right, but I really don't want it to be true. This is such a strong position for Top Esports. But as you said, like, unfortunately, slow map play is not really the name of the game for them in a lot of situations. But they are doing it right thus far. They're getting control of this top side. There's the Rift Herald play to crack open the top of the turret. Like, this is pretty much undefendable from RNG right now, and Top Esports know it, which is why they're playing so confidently in this jungle.
Look at the positioning from Zhuo and 369. bullying RNG out of the jungle, just being a literal brick wall at the wolves saying, you don't get to contest vision, not just yet, not until we say you can. They shove the wave in the mid lane and move back towards the Baron pit. The threat is on. It's top esports. Of course, they're just going to start the Baron off. They're going to force RNG to come into them. Zhuo trying to deny the engage. Takes a good bit of damage for his trouble, though.
You really need 369 to be the one that's tanking up that. Zhuo, level 8 compared to like the level 13s that we're looking at on the 2 solo lanes for RNG. He's going to get hurt pretty badly when he tries to face check that one. But 369, he's the one stepping forward once again, just trying to keep away from this Baron area, trying to make sure that they can have full vision control of the big purple.
Yep, that control ward going to be very valuable because it takes a long time to take down. So RNG are going to be able to threaten the potential engage. By the way, Karsa was farming his wolves and his grump in the meantime, so there was no threat of the Baron really. He's just farming the bot side of his jungle. But right now, top esports in a phenomenal position. They can potentially just go for this vision control and threaten the Baron again, or they can wait 2 minutes, look towards that third Infernal Drake, look towards threatening Soul Point instead. But when you look across the board at the items as well, you got 369, who's practically invincible. And when you look at the damage profile from RNG, who's going to kill him? He's got a Randuin's, he's got a Turbo Chem Tank, but your only AP damage is going to be this Lillia and the Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate's built a rapid fire cannon, so in terms of actual AP damage, he ain't doing a whole lot, and Wei ain't exactly fair.
And Lillia doesn't even have an Anguish, Andrew's Anguish right now. So she's not even built to deal with this tank. She's built to provide CC in these team fights. However, though, this is the part that's most dangerous for top esports, when they're split up and they're trying to get control of these side lanes. Now, though, with control of the side lanes and RNG forced to deal with bot side, that's top esports setting up.
Gone into the Magnet Storm, though. There's a sleep onto Ford. This is the moment for RNG. Everyone's asleep, and Gala wants to capitalize. One down and looking for more. The Q available as the health bars drop. RNG find their chance. Down with your recency. They believe in legacy. Onto 369. They chase as he runs desperately to the top lane, and RNG take control of the game once more.
And they can just turn back towards Baron. Top esports completely messing that up. Xiaohu, or 369, was only rotating towards Baron. They got impatient. They took that step too far, and now RNG are on the Baron. TP coming in from 369, though.
Got a setup for Karsa. Smite is available. Karsa looking for the miracle play.
Wait so long!
Has to run it. 369 is just going to kill them. He's looking for the Baron himself. There are no smites here, but his decimating smash is denied. 369 just hiding in the pit. Had the smite from the spellbook, but Gala gets it. And it's Xiaohu to finish off 369. So close to a miracle play, and yet so far.
It was 60 HP. It was so close to going the way of top esports. But you can see there, RNG, they knew not to DPS it. They knew to let themselves just finish off this Sion, and they would be able to do it. But with that Baron going across, we still get that Dragon going the way of top esports. We still have RNG on this timer that in 5 minutes, top esports could find themselves with that Infernal Soul.
Such a close game, and I'm so glad in game number 2 of this series we get to see these teams go head-to-head. Beautiful engage from Ming, and again this combo you talked about with the Magnet Storm into the sleeve, it's just good.
And you can see there that they completely just bypassed 369. Like 369 was not in a position to be ready for that. And again, it's so hard for 369 in this side. Like as we said, it's great when the enemy is right in front of you and you can have these decimating smashes, your ultimate, to try and corral people into the right spots and deny space. But when you're having these flashes just go straight over your head with Ming being able to go in, oh, hang on.
Away with the fancy hoof work right there, manages to dodge everything. 369's the target, burning down, and he doesn't have a way out. The Realm Warp is denied by the Magnet Storm. Ming comes up clutch yet again. Night falls, and RNG are the king of the team fights.
They are getting so good with these fights. Every time you're just saying it, like dodging away from the Sion, creating chaos that allows them to pick apart Knight, JackeyLove, even denying that Realm Warp there. And now they are looking at this inhibitor.
This is the moment for RNG. They are in first place in the standings right now. They're 1-0 up in this series. They're going to be able to get an inhib. I think they have to respect the respawns on the side of top esports. But with the Baron, with this gold lead, they are poised for victory off of the reset.
And this is why I love watching RNG. Even in situations where you're like, look, they need to get creative. They need to try and do something that's a little bit out of the way. They're able to find these combos with Wei, with Ming, finding the engages not only in the great spots, but onto the perfect members as well. So you can see here, 369 tries to make the play happen. Wei beautifully dodges away from Zhuo and 369. And with Ming here, he just reads it. Oh, you're trying to go for some sort of realm war play? Not a hope in hell. Gets on towards Knight, denies that opportunity, and with top esports overextending to try and save 369, RNG are able to come out on top.
I will say, shout out to Knight for being an absolute pro there. That was a suicidal play. Absolutely not the way to go about it, but he's like, 369, my man, I got you. Here's a realm warp. Actually just ends up dying himself, but I appreciate the absolute synergy that you get between the solo laners here from top esports. Goes a little bit awry though, and now we end up with a 3,500 gold lead in favor of RNG. It doesn't matter that the damage makeup of their composition isn't perfect, because guess what? That Leandris you talked about is very much firing on all cylinders from Wei now. He's got the Zhonyas. He's able to dance around the fights. You've got the Everfrost, the rapid fire cannons, and a Zhonyas on the side of the mid lane as well. Cryin going to be tearing through players. Anyone that steps too far forward, he will find that gold card. The pressure is on for top esports. If they want to be considered a top team in the LPL, this is the team that you got to beat.
But this was a conversation we're having where top esports were firmly in control. They needed to play it slower, but they got lost in the sauce, and now they're really struggling to get back into this game because they needed that front-to-back fight. They needed 369 and Zhuo to be able to deny the likes of Xiaohu or Ming, Wei access to this backline. However, with being able to push out side lanes now as RNG, getting full vision control in the jungle, it becomes far more difficult for top esports to spot out the multiple flank angles that RNG can take and deny these team fight victories from RNG.
I have to say, where is the clutch factor from JackeyLove in this series, man? Because I'm so used to just being like, it's okay, JackeyLove will take over, right? Today, we are not seeing that version of JackeyLove. Wasn't able to take over during the laning phases, and in these team fights, he is just getting denied entry every single time. Like, when have we seen him be able to jump in and get a full bomb off the lane?
Well, it's Ming, right? It's the man of the hour. Every single time JackeyLove steps forward at all to try and take a shot. Again, the flash engage coming through from Ming. The Magnet Storm is preventing JackeyLove from going anywhere. He's got to jump out defensively, and even then he's no guaranteed to get out because Wei is following up.
Terrible timing on the reset here from JackeyLove, because Drake is coming up in 5 seconds, and I think top esports are basically saying that they're going to forego the Infernal Soul. They're deciding that they cannot fight right now unless there's some kind of shenanigans about to go afoot. Drake will be started off by RNG, will be taken by RNG. So the Infernal Soul, still going to be 5 minutes away from top esports.
And I like this call from top. They really needed that Infinity Edge finished by JackeyLove. This is a little bit suspect though, because basically RNG are saying, hey look, we will end through mid if you try and go for this Baron. And top esports are kind of like, oh yeah, that's kind of a thing.
RNG are like, we'll end through mid if you go for Baron. Top esports are like, that's a trade we're willing to make. 369 moves into the mid lane here. Wei's just cutting off the wave so that there's no,
look at Xiaohu.
no potential plays here.
Look at Xiaohu bot side. Like, he's just free pushing this whole time. He knows he's totally fine to kind of come a little bit late with the TP to these plays because we're really looking at Ming and Wei as these big engage tools. Now the realm warp from top esports to try and get into a better position, but oh, just
that was a
about.
little too close to comfort right there. Does manage to recall out in the end, but now RNG, they can move to the Baron themselves. Xiaohu TPing in. This will go down pretty quick. Karsa is over the wall, has the flash, has the smite. I don't think he's even going to know that it's this close to going down. Taken by Gala in the end. And top esports, can they punish it? Poised for a fight right here, but RNG with empowered recalls surely can just get out of this one.
It looks like they may not even try. They may just try and collect this top wave, but now they see, okay, top esports, they're in mid lane. We're going to reset. We're going to be able to catch them. So Baron will go across. And for a mid lane tower, I'm pretty okay with that if I'm RNG.
Mid lane tower and a Raptor camp. So let's not get too
Oh, okay, actually, yeah. When you add in that, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 1,500 gold plus a Baron buff versus maybe 300 gold, something like that. So not ideal for top esports, but you know, small silver linings at this point, because I'm speaking on behalf of all top esports and EDG fans that they gotta hold on to these silver linings.
I'm just taking this as a win. On podcast, I said RNG looking far better than top esports. They're the one gonna win the league, and you know, maybe just a little bit of an inkling of truth with that, because RNG, they're looking damn good. Like, all memes and jokes aside, like, Ming is magnificent. I love watching this guy. He is consistently finding these big engages. He does take a little bit of a shot from the decimating smash, but the follow-up from Wei, like we said already, Wei is, for me, is the best Lillia in the league right now, and he's proven it, just how well he synchronizes with Ming in these fights. This is why RNG are so strong. We talk about Gala, we talk about Xiaohu, but this jungle support synergy is amazing.
Let's see if that can translate into a fight here. Top lane tier 2 did get taken down. 369 trying to defend territory for top esports so that RNG can't just push in. They can move up towards this top side. Knight trying to clear the minions here. A couple of more ticks as the minions go down, but the tower will fall as well. JackeyLove has arrived. Top esports, this is the last hurrah here. They've got to win this fight if they want to stay in the game of this series. JackeyLove forced away with an accelerated shock blast. RNG then rinse and repeating from what they did in game number 1. They just take apart the entire base from top esports, and there's not even a whimper from their opponent to stop it.
I think they're whimpering pretty hard. It's just that they can't do anything about it. Tears probably streaming down top esports' face in frustration as they look at their base falling apart. That is true. Yeah, it does. Yeah, but either way, look, you've now got a minute and a half until this dragon. Can you reasonably contest this as top esports? Not a hope. Like, you've got to somehow struggle to get this top wave shoved out. You've got to try and shove out this mid wave. You already have bot lane pushing in as well. RNG off the reset are going to go and collect this bot side as well, put up the pressure there. And at any point in time, they just fall back towards this dragon as well. Cryin will be able to shove in mid, and they can just rinse and repeat this over and over again. It's so hard to deal with this.
One thing I will say, though, if there's any team in the LPL that could come back from impossible odds, top esports is probably it. Now trying to defend the bottom in here. I don't know if this is one they can fight on. Here we go. Knockup comes out from 369. They find themselves a pick onto Ming. The man of the hour, as you called him. Xiaohu falls as well. Zhuo with a locket to keep himself safe. Gala jumps in, but maybe too deep on this one. Wei trying to follow up as well. Top esports health bars are dropping. Knight still surviving. Can't find Gala though. Misses the Q on the backline, and Gala wins the 1v1. 369, the last man on the scene, and RNG turned this on its head. Gala and Cryin and Wei surviving. Triple for Gala. Down with the recency. The defending champions fall. The legacy of RNG continues.
RNG stamping their name once again on the LPL. This RNG squad, even when you know what they're going to do.
That's the thing. It's like, you can read the textbook of what this team is going to do, but they're so damn good at it that it doesn't matter if you know about it. It's like, I can know that you're going to throw a punch at me, Dagda. It doesn't mean I can fight you. You're a lot bigger than I am. So it's one of those situations where it's like, just because you know it's coming doesn't mean they're not the biggest bloke in the room.
And to quote Lyric again, like, Lyric said this, said on the podcast, he said it, I mean, for literally the entire time he's been in the LPL, the teams that have been the champions of the LPL are not teams that you don't know what you're expecting. They are just so damn good at their style of League of Legends that you just can't beat them. And that's honestly what it feels like when I watch RNG. Like, I know what this team is going to do, but there's not a hope in hell that I'm going to be able to stop them.
And here's the thing, right? The fact that we know what they're going to do in terms of like the way that they like to play the game doesn't remove from the excitement for me, because they're so good at it. It's just like, it's an absolute treat to watch the way that RNG play the early game, the way they play around the top side of the map, the way they control their opponents and deny the counterplays, minimize the wins their opponents can get on the bottom side of the map while taking everything away on the top.
And I'm going to admit it, like, I'm just gonna fanboy over Ming for a little bit because like I'm a support player, right? I love Alistairs, I love RElls, I love these champions where I can get these big engages. But by God, does Ming put on a showcase every single time he takes the rift. Game number 1, we saw these great engages onto JackeyLove on the Alistair that was consistently winning out these fights for RNG, or at least setting them up. And then we come into game number 2, and Ming again has got these big magnet storms coming in, the flash engages, the follow-up wave. Like, he was the crux of every single one of these fights for RNG, and I just love watching this guy. Like, there is no way he is not the best support in the LPL right now.
And I think one of the things that isn't talked about enough with RNG is the strength of their draft that we get to see. Like, because they have so many players that you feel like you have to ban things away from, it means they have so many different ways to win the game. Because while the advantages in this game were taken through the top side of the map, Gala was farming up the entire time. He was actually the big threat on this team. When it came to damage, when it came to the actual fights later on in the game, it was all about Gala and setting Gala up to succeed. Gala's Kaisa is exceptional. It's easily his best pickup in that bottom side. So when you're trying to ban things away from Wei, you're trying to ban things away from Xiaohu, you're trying to ban things away from Cryin, you're trying to ban things away from Ming, well, then you can't ban Kaisa, you can't ban Tristana, you can't ban Xayah. All of these picks that you know Gala's going to go for. It feels like there's too many power picks to deal with on the side of RNG.
And that's a good L spot to be in, right? Because when you even look at, like, as we said, past champions and past super teams in the LPL, they always just had too many things that you need to be scared about. Whether it's Doinby and his dark technologies, you're also then looking at the likes of Gimgoon in the top lane. You're looking at Tien's Lee Sin. You were looking at LWX in the bot lane. Heck, I mean, even JackeyLove back when he was on IG was the same story. The shy JackeyLove rookie. Who do you try and focus? And once again, we're seeing a similar story here coming in for RNG, where you need to get rid of Lillias, Alistairs, RElls, Leona's even for Ming. Now you're looking top lane even. We haven't even mentioned Xiaohu's, Nar, the Jayces, the Lucian, everything else that he can bring to the table. And it makes it so hard to shut down RNG where, as he said, even though they may play through this top side, they are not a one-threat team.
Yeah, definitely not a one-threat team, and we got to bear witness to that here today. And, you know, a dominant Game 1 victory felt fantastic for RNG fans across the world. Game number 2, Top Esports gave them a run for their money. Game number 2 was an exceptionally exciting game of League of Legends. We got to see Top Esports running a much slower early game, finding small advantages individually in the laning phase. But then that fight around Dragon very early on into the game where they opt into a 5v5, when you've got things like a Ryze in the mid lane, surely that is not the correct way to play this composition from Top Esports. Surely that's not a fight that they should be taking.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue that I had for Top Esports was, as we said, their composition worked really well with a front to back style. But every time that we are watching these team fights, you know, they try and go for a little bit more vision or kind of get caught out before 369 was really in a position to set them up for those fights. If they'd hung on just a couple more seconds, they could have had that beefy front line and found things a little bit more easier. And then it's not so easy for like Ming to go for these flash engages and have Wei come with the flash follow-up because it's so much handier for Zhuo to deny parts of that, or 369 to play a front line and stop people from getting in onto that back line. But unfortunately, without that setup there, it all becomes a lot messier. And I think that's kind of been the biggest issue that we've had with Top Esports, has been that sometimes they just go that bit too far. They are that bit over aggressive and it comes back to bite them. And against a team like RNG, you only get that one slip up because they aren't going to give you another opportunity to come back into the game.
This is the top of the table in the LPL. You don't get to make mistakes. You will be punished for those kind of situations. And I mean, the heartbreaking Baron play in that game as well, where the unsealed spellbook smite comes through doing like 40. I think it left the Baron on what, like 40 HP.
It was
really,
60,
really
68 HP or something like that. Something insane. Yeah.
One auto attack away, basically, and Gala, I think, got the Baron in the end. But importantly, another win streak defeated now. Top Esports 7 win streak ends here. The highest win streak remaining in the LPL is currently WE. RA was thwarted. Now Top Esports have been thwarted. How long's left for WE at this point? Let's move away from win streaks, though. Let's talk about our MVP coming out from that game. Production told me, I didn't hear who it was. It was Gala, that he was set up beautifully by the rest of the team. 100% kill participation. It's actually insane in a game like that.
Yeah, and his damage was nuts as well. Like, top of the table when it comes to the damage in the game, top of the table when it comes to, well, the league right now as well for RNG. So, gorgeous performance. And as you said, like, this was a team working in tandem, and Gala was at the back line dishing out all the damage that was needed. We saw the great engages from Ming, the follow-up from Wei, but they needed that damage source to really come through. And in this series, it was Gala who provided those.
Yeah, beautiful stuff from Gala. Again, the Kaisa, absolutely his standout character, his standout AD carry right now. And we can take another look at some of these team fights. This one was absolutely beautiful from Gala, but importantly, the sleep coming out from Wei, just meaning that Gala could jump into that backline and finish everybody off. It just feels like RNG are so coordinated as a unit. It feels like 5 fingers of the same hand.
Yeah, and I mean, those 5 fingers definitely punched top esports in their face every time they went towards a team fight. And as he said, like the repositioning with the killer instinct was just beautiful from Gala. And we saw it in the very last fight in the base as well, where he does go super deep, but he knows exactly how far he can take it. And that has been the best part of me about Gala, is that they give him so little resources in that bottom side of the map. When you think of RNG traditionally, who played through this AD carry role, Gala doesn't get the same resources as Uzi does. But when we get towards team fights, he certainly has a massive, massive impact. His team fighting is impeccable, and it leads to RNG being able to trust him to be the main damage dealer, despite them not having to invest that much into him.
Yeah, honestly, I'm just blown away by RNG right now. I underestimated them off the back of their loss against JDG. I feel like I'm eating humble pie tonight, Dagda, to be quite honest, because I said top esports were the best team in the league. They were just going to swoop in and take it all. They were on the win streak. I was well aboard the hype train. I'm still aboard the hype train. They're still going to win this split, but RNG get a temporary win for now. We're going to go to the stage before Dagda can retort, because we got a winner's interview. Over to you, Wendy.
Hi, everyone. Welcome